It's another episode of What the F at $. It's Thursday. So close to the weekend you can feel the hangover hitting. Well, you know the 4-1-1 movie reviews. Mandalorian and Grogu is the highly anticipated debut wrestling report. AEW results, Darby Allin retained in a stellar match, TNA preview, and the news. May 21, 2026 Dumbass of the Day, Ilhan Omar. So let's stop wasting valuable time. 5 4 3 2 1.
Thursdays are for new movies and we have some great ones. This week we delve into a highly anticipated Star Wars film, an annoying movie that makes light of crime and a horror flick that is based on folklore. So we start with the unofficial summer blockbuster season. We start with The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Hey, never touch the buttons. I can use some information.
Whoa, for this price, I'll tell you whatever you want.
I'm looking for a hut.
Close for the night. Thank you.
Gangsters, war criminals.
Long live the Empire.
We'll take out every bad guy in your deck of cards.
This isn't about revenge. It's about preventing another war.
Strap in.
You will suffer. And then it will be his turn.
Before going into harm's way, check your armor. The kid will live centuries beyond me. I won't always be around to protect him.
Are you scared? You should be.
Do we run? Or do we fight?
I like this kid.
What are you waiting for? Let's save the rest for after dinner.
The Mandalorian and Grogu is a 2026 Star Wars film directed by Jon Favreau, continuing the Disney Plus series story with Pedro Pascal as Din Djarin and Grogu, who are enlisted by the New Republic to rescue Rotta the Hutt, voiced by Jeremy Allen White, in exchange for information, with Sigourney Weaver also starring as Colonel Ward. Released in May 2026, the movie is praised for its action, visuals, and Grogu's puppetry, but critics note a thin plot and heavy reliance on nostalgia, though it's seen as an entertaining blockbuster for general audiences. Director, Jon Favreau. Writers, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, Noah Claw. Cast, Pedro Pascal, Sigourney Weaver, Jeremy Allen White. When the trailer was released, many were complaining, and as a die-hard fan, Rowe defended it. The movie is finally released and I came to realize, I was so wrong defending a steaming pile. Jon Favreau is a very talented director and Star Wars fan, which was the Kool-Aid I got drunk off. This movie is not good, as much as I wanted to love this. I just couldn't. This would have worked more as a 5-episode on Disney Plus, not as a major movie. And this brings up the bigger point, has the Star Wars mythos lost its mojo? Saturation and lack of strong storytelling has killed the greats of franchise. So much talent and so much potential, yet we get this generic movie that doesn't really play a big role, which makes me wonder why. The original trilogy, they were special and the anticipation was justified. Now Disney has become a pimp to put out as many whores, and quality isn't important as long as money is gained. This is what this movie represents, just another whore. It will do its job but not good. Pedro Pascal lacks aura and his low-key factor is what derails the story. The story of Rotta the Hutt is interesting but it's flawed, and you built an entire movie on it. That's where everything unravels. Now as a die-hard fan, it pains me. This falls closer to the scale of Solo, Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, where nothing truly engages the audience or true fans. It pains me more that Jon Favreau directed this directionless movie. Biggest problem is they want to draw from the original without adding anything worthwhile. Maybe, just maybe the only way to fix the Star Wars dilemma is to kill it and start from scratch. Disney has ruined this great concept and this may be another nail in the coffin. Unfortunately, the movie will garner a lot of cash, so they will make more, because a pimp only cares about cash not the condition of their whores, and couldn't give a shit about the Jon, so twofold problem. Unfortunately, this movie isn't for fans, it's soulless and lacking that impact. Even the cuteness of Grogu could not save this, hate is strong in this one.
Get your camera out, let's go live. You know the egregious theft that's been happening at my stores. The boosters take my clothes, because they're low-class urban bitches.
Chrissy Smith knows we exist. I call it triple F. Fashion, forward, philanthropy. I know how to spell philanthropy. Branding, though.
For that, you're a raw-ass, make-it-happen hustler.
Give it to me. It's mine anyway.
In fashion, humanity is our canvas. But the Velvet Gang is reducing our margins. But I can bob and weave.
Chrissy Smith stole my design.
What?
If she stole your design, we gotta get it back for that. I have a plan. Together, we empty out every single Metro designer in the Bay Area.
We gotta take what's ours.
We should coordinate.
What are we waiting for?
They're taking everything. It's not even that yellow in here anymore.
You okay?
It's time to get loose! It's time to get loose! It's time to get loose!
You boosters just take.
Like you. We follow this plan to precision.
Their wig game is crazy.
Damn!
I'm gonna need you to trust me. We have to make her cry. 3, 2, 1. Oh, come on. Let's take all of it. Grab them wigs.
Next, I Love Boosters is a 2026 surreal crime comedy film by director Boots Riley, starring Keke Palmer, Naomi Aki, and Demi Moore, about a crew of young women who turn shoplifting designer goods into a form of protest against a cutthroat fashion mogul. The film, which premiered at South by Southwest in March 2026, was released in theaters on May 22, 2026, and is known for its sharp social commentary on capitalism, vibrant visuals, and ensemble cast. Director-writer, Boots Riley, Sorry to Bother You. Stars, Keke Palmer, Naomi Aki, Taylor Page, Poppy Lou, Isa Gonzalez, Lakeith Stanfield, Will Poulter, Don Cheadle, Demi Moore. Genre, crime, comedy, drama. Synopsis: a crew of professional shoplifters, led by Palmer's character, targets a high-end fashion brand, sparking a larger movement. Another attack at capitalism and poorly done. Demi Moore followed the greatest independent movie in substance with this shitty movie. Hollywood has lost its charm and actually made a movie about criminal activity and wants the audience to sympathize with the criminals. This movie is utter garbage. The biggest problem is Hollywood plays the moral police while lacking morals. This movie is exactly what is wrong with studios. Everything about this movie is idiotic and isn't remotely comical and makes you wonder what was the point. The bigger problem is audiences were robbed of time and money. We are the biggest victim in this horrible movie. Next, Passengers.
Make it quick.
Dude, give me 1 minute. Yo. Daniel?
I saw these on the car last night. 3 scratches just like that.
You didn't stop, did you? It's something unholy.
Someone's following us.
Saint Christopher, protect me today. All my travels. Give us your warning sign. If danger is near. Danger is near. Danger is near.
No one outruns a passenger.
Passenger, 2026, is a supernatural horror film directed by Andre Overeedle, starring Lula Bell and Jacob Scipio as a young couple on a road trip who are stalked by a demonic entity after witnessing a fatal accident. The film, which blends psychological horror with classic hitchhiker tropes, is scheduled for release in the United States on May 22, 2026, by Paramount Pictures. It has received early buzz for its intense suspense, unsettling atmosphere, and standout horror sequences. Director Andre Overeedle, The Autopsy of Jane Doe, Trollhunter, stars Lula Bell, Jacob Scipio, and Melissa Leo. Plot: a couple's van life adventure turns into a nightmare when they become the target of a relentless, supernatural force after a car crash. Unfortunately, this movie is coming out when The Mandalorian comes out, and following the low-budget surprise in Obsession. Honestly, horror has been getting more interest, and deservingly so. This movie's greatest asset is the pacing and storytelling. Unfortunately, this movie won't get the attention it deserves, but if you want something different with layers, now to the Wrestling Report. 5 4 3 2 1.
The Wrestling Report, AEW Dynamite Results May 20, 2026. Trios match. Ricochet and Don Callis families. Andrade El Idolo and AEW National Champion Mark Davis defeats Jericho and Young Bucks Matt and Nick Jackson. Fast-paced and action-packed. As we always point out, you see one Young Bucks match, you seen them all. You get all the bells and whistles. The added outside interference leads to Jericho and Bucks counting the lights. Anything goes match. Mark Briscoe defeats Psycho Killer Tommaso Ciampa. Trash cans, check. Ladders, check. Chairs, check. Cheese graters, check. Mouse traps, bloody and visceral. These two killed each other in the ring and fans loved it. Bandito brings the fight to Swerve. Returning the favor from Rose Supercard of Honor, Bandito took it to Swerve. AEW Continental Championship Eliminator match. Jon Moxley and AEW World Trios Champion Kyle O'Reilly fought to a 20-minute time limit. Storytelling was front and center. The two athletes took each other to the limit and continues the idea Jon Moxley can't beat Kyle. 8-woman tag match. Triangle of Madness. AEW Women's World Champion Thekla, Julia Hart and Sky Blue, and Raw Women's World Champion Athena defeats Thunder Rosa, Mina Shirakawa and Brawling Birds Jamie Hayter and Alex Windsor. Fun match and highlights the deep women's division that is moving in the right direction. Athena is the best seller in the business. This match was paced perfectly and again another highlight of Thekla's ability. AEW World Championship match. Darby Allin defeats Speedball Mike Bailey. What a fun match. Darby's run has been some of the best wrestling and proving all the naysayers wrong. Bailey is uber talented and the two styles played nicely. MJF attacks but gets foiled. Check the sticker for Collision's results. Now to TNA preview. Rematch for the TNA title. Mike Santana vs Steve Maclin. Mike put Maclin on the shelf, so revenge may be on Maclin's mind. Matt Hardy vs Vincent. The feud has gone away but too long, but it has been entertaining. International Championship. Mustafa Ali defends against WWE Evolve Starboy and so much more. Now to the news that keeps fans coming back for more. For all the wrestling news that you need but were afraid of, Dave Meltzer, the wrestling news. We start off with AEW. TBS has been relinquished due to an injury, where Willow Nightingale has to forfeit the title but give up her spot on the Owen Hart tournament. Now that spot is open to a wild card. In other news, Ludwig Kaiser Marcel Barthel was arrested for battery following an incident that happened on April 23. According to TMZ, Kaiser was arrested following an incident with a neighbor, where a scuffle took place in an elevator, where there was too much PDA and the neighbor injected himself, leading to fists to fly. It is unclear if the lady in question is Ludwig's current girlfriend, Andrea Bazit, or someone else, plus it's unclear if this will affect the biggest match of his career. Back to AEW. Mick Foley is going to work Double or Nothing and will be part of the AEW family. Recently he was mad at WWE allowing Trump to remain on the Hall of Fame, yet does he realize Tony's dad donated to Trump and Mick is an insignificant part of wrestling. He plays moral police, but does he remember an incident in Kenosha, Wisconsin where he treated an individual with a learning disability like a chump? Mick Foley is a horrible human being and he smells awful, so hope only the worst for the elevated stuntman. In WWE news, it was reported Enzo Amore was at the Performance Center. This is kind of weird after releasing a lot of talented wrestlers. WWE is interested in bringing back the worst wrestler, Enzo Amore, and in talks with bringing back Baron Corbin, so TKO really has no clue. So now to the news. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
To the news that matters, hard-hitting, and we don't hold back punches because we don't get our pockets filled by seedy people. In England, an event took place that should boil the blood of its citizens. A young man, Henry Novak, was stabbed to death in December of 2025, but no outlets have reported this. What makes this sickening, not only was he killed but the response of the police, who continued to cuff him while he was bleeding out because the killer claimed racism took place, so instead of attempting to save a life, they let him die. The killer, Vikram Singh Digwa, was carrying a dagger, to which Henry questioned and got attacked. Citizens are not allowed to carry weapons, yet Muslims get a pass because of religious rights. England has fallen and this is the plan. Henry has no record of breaking the law but gets a claim against him and the police side with the killer, not the one bleeding out. We make a note of this because CNN, MSN, and other outlets failed to report the incident. Wake up. As reported last week, the US has lowered its carbon footprint and pollution level, leading President Trump to roll back Biden-era energy restrictions. This is twofold. This will allow easy access to energy and self-policing without shelling out millions of dollars. Crazy fraud news. 10,000 phantom employees bombshell spurs the Gob to kill foreign worker pipeline. How many times have the liberals been caught in the cookie jar and get a pass? Seriously, when will there be arrests? In reporting with Today's dumbass, Omar's net worth plunged from several millions to $95,000, so filings have been under fire and again she finds herself under investigation. She's the new Teflon Don and the US needs to seriously consider revoking her citizenship and deporting her. She's a refugee who has bastardized the system while hating this great nation. Accountability. In another dumbass, Mamdani claims the city needs billionaires for the free buses to be made possible. Under his regime, there has been a mass exodus and now many promises have been thrown literally under the bus. Another failed communist, yet they're spawning. Seriously, let's label them domestic terrorists and try them all for treason. Win-win. Good news of the day. A Florida man spends days searching for an owner of lost $30,000. Claiming it's not his and the money had an owner. Stories like this are inspiring. Luis Salazar walked into a bathroom of a Wawa convenience store and found the fanny pack with the large sum of money and made it a mission to find the owner. So, hopefully that inspires viewer to always do good. Now to the dumbass of the day, previously mentioned Ilhan Omar. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Dumbass of the day, Ilhan Omar. Labeling Representative Ilhan Omar as dangerous is a highly partisan characterization that reflects deep ideological divides in American politics. Critics view her political impact and rhetoric in fundamentally different ways. Arguments from critics. Foreign policy. Critics, particularly conservatives, argue that her stance on U.S. foreign policy and Israel undermines national security and traditional alliances. She has faced bipartisan and Republican condemnation for comments concerning pro-Israel lobbying groups, which some critics equate to anti-Semitism. The fact she is openly anti-Semitic is asinine. The fact she is so anti-American is nerving. As a representative, she needs to be a pinnacle of the American ideals, yet she represents everything wrong. Rhetoric. Detractors argue that her rhetoric is polarizing and alienates allies. For example, remarks she made referencing the September 11th attacks were heavily criticized by opponents who felt they were dismissive of the tragedy. She actually stated some people did some things. I guess people have forgotten. She several occasions stated she supports her president from Somalia, which should be open to expulsion, but America has fallen down the rabbit hole. Investigations. She has occasionally been the subject of political probes and allegations regarding her personal and financial conduct. Corruption seems to follow her, yet she's still getting a paycheck representing the most corrupt states. When highlights of her corruption came to light, she had an orchestrated liquid thrown at her, but how easily forgotten. So not only is she part of income fraud, state allocation fraud, but she was involved in citizenship fraud by marrying her brother, and she still is getting a paycheck. One of the many examples of American-hating individuals representing the greatest nation in the world. This is part of a bigger problem where a nation can't succeed if the pieces are openly seeking to destroy it. She is openly a domestic terrorist and committing treason every day. She's representing Minnesota. The fact many fraud cases have been discovered but none of the major players arrested should cause voters to have their blood boil, and if you are not concerned, then you are just as treasonous. The fact she is still representing and not arrested or better deported back, where she's a refugee and she was going to be stoned if she stayed in Somalia, maybe we should have left her there. Growing number of invaders are openly looking to destroy from the inside, and doing it with pride. Wake up. Well, until tomorrow, have a great day and question everything.